What's in a name? My name is Jamal Khan, and I am a graduate of the University of California, Berkeley, and Harvard Law School. Some time ago, when I was at a networking event, I struck up a conversation with an African-American gentleman. After a while, he told me his name, I told him mine, Jamal, and he did a double take. And he said to me, "You got a brother's name." Incidents like that make me think about the improbable series of events that have led me to where I am now. My grandparents grew up in India during the British Raj period. My parents grew up as citizens of Pakistan. I was born in the independent country of Bangladesh, and I aspire to one day have a family of my own right here in the United States of America. That's 4 generations born with 4 distinct nationalities. There was a transition from the first to the second because of differences over religion. From the second to the third because of differences over language. And from the third to the fourth because a group of progressive individuals persevered during the 1960s to reform the immigration laws of this country in order to help a group of people they didn't know. In the year 2001, when I had just started high school, I heard on the news that something terrible had happened in the city of New York. In the year 2003, I remember feeling ashamed of my middle name, Hussein, because I shared that name with a Middle Eastern dictator whose regime we had just toppled. Some years later, it turned out that that same name, Hussein, was also shared by someone who told us that only in America could his story have been possible. Someone who told us that the forces that bring us together are stronger than those that drive us apart. Someone who had the audacity to run for President of the United States, despite the fact that he was young, despite the fact that he was a person of color, and even more impressively, despite the fact that he was a Kenyan-born Muslim. Now, that last part was meant to be sarcastic. What's in a name? A rose by any other name would smell as sweet. That's from Shakespeare. Romeo and Juliet. In that scene, Juliet is dismayed because the object of her affection, Romeo, comes from a family that is perceived by her family as the enemy. Over the course of that story, the enmity dissolves and the families are reconciled. But not without tragic suffering and needless bloodshed, an outcome that is all too common in the world of nonfiction. But I still have hope. You see, I have to have hope. I have to, because of what's in my name. Jamal Khan. Neither of those names came from South Asia. Those are not originally South Asian names. Jamal came from the Middle East, from the Semitics. Khan came from the Far East, from the Central Asians. 2 groups that were once mortal enemies centuries ago. And now both of them are reflected in my name. When you feel disheartened by the discourse that we're seeing in this country, just remember that social media does not fully reflect real life. And when you see an entire community being scapegoated, remember the golden rule which is there in every faith: to treat others the same way we want them to treat us. And when someone talks about an irrevocable break in the national fabric, tell them about a skinny kid with a name that makes no sense. We can see examples every day of strength and courage and resilience. The single mother who struggles with opioid use disorder. The deaf child who navigates an underfunded public school system. The aspiring esports athlete who is determined to make a name for herself. The resourcefulness of a strayer who faces off against the giants of Silicon Valley. What's in a name? Our names reflect the diversity that makes this country great. E pluribus unum. Out of many, one. Your voices matter. Your votes matter. As the adage goes, if you have enough drops of water, then you have an ocean. Remind everyone you know to register to vote. My name is Jamal Khan. Thank you.